Back in December 2016, I was one of the backers of this Pi3Cart NES cartridge case for Raspberry Pi 3. 464 backers pledged $24,755 to bring this project to life. So what this is a Raspberry Pi 3 stuffed into a NES cartridge. It's very similar to the configuration that I have for the video that I did for Raspberry Pi Zero put into a NES cartridge, but instead this is with a Raspberry Pi 3, and I like to support Kickstarters and other people's projects that I feel are pretty cool, and this was one of them. And so this is sort of like a smaller version or a modified Raspberry Pi 3 that they were able to throw in, which is a lot more powerful than the Pi Zero and has a fan in there. And then there were options that you could go with, different face plates, LED add-ons, and even a shutdown button was an option. So this is a neat little Kickstarter, and this is my experience here with it. So as you can see here, the unit has to be opened up because it did not come with an SD card, and so you have to install a formatted SD card into the unit, and that's what I am attempting to show here. And then you see the little USB ports that you could utilize if you needed extra controllers to be supported for this cartridge. Now, I had a lot of difficulty getting the screws off of this case simply because I didn't have the right tool, and I ended up using the tool that I ended up using was like an eyeglass tightener that you use for eyeglasses, and that worked better than any of the tools that I had bought for other projects. Alright, to load the software onto the SD card, you simply go to this website here for the RetroPie setup installation. It has all the instructions that you need to get this done. And under installation, there's a link to download the Raspberry Pi software. And so I went with this one, 2/3, since it's a Raspberry Pi 3. And then following the installation, which I'm going to show the installation here shortly, you do the transfer ROMs section. And on the transfer ROMs, it's really, you just follow these instructions right here. So you first create a folder called RetroPie on the USB stick, plug it into the Pi, wait for it to finish blinking, pull out the USB and plug it into a computer, add the ROMs to the respective folders, plug it back into the Raspberry Pi, wait for it to finish blinking. These instructions are the proper way, or the easy way, of adding the ROMs onto your Raspberry Pi. After you download the RetroPie image, you can use Win32 Disk Imager software to format your SD card utilizing that ROM. And I've sped it up here, the installation. It's actually a lot slower than this. But you get the point. After this is complete, you have an image of Raspberry Pi on your SD card that you can throw into the Pi cartridge. In this last segment, I'm demonstrating that you do need a power supply, a USB power supply. They typically use the ones that work with cell phones, and it was not supplied with this Pi 3 cartridge Kickstarter. And then I'm also showing how you plug it into the cartridge, plug in the controller, and how you plug in the HDMI cable. And then I demonstrate a couple of 3 games just for fun. So enjoy.